All right, Platoon, fall in. It is the Joe and the Jarhead show. I am the Joe. With me, as ever, is...
Jarhead of the Leatherneck Clan, representing the Devil Dogs. Hoorah!
There we go. I was waiting for it.
I love how you love it, and you can't start the show without it. It makes me feel good.
I mean, I'm glad. That's ultimately what I'm here for. Is I don't care about the Platoon or the show or anything like that. Just as long as you feel good, my job here is done.
Wow. I feel like mission accomplished. All right, Platoon, thanks for joining us.
Oh,
Joe is
easy.
fine. So,
What do we got tonight?
we do have some stuff to talk about. We got a lot of news, a lot of headlines coming your way. There's a little bit of a civil war going on with the Democrats.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, I'm not going to lie. I think it's hilarious.
You know what? If you had said, 2 years ago that we would see something like this, I'd have said you were a liar. I mean, I did not see this coming, I'll be honest.
Me neither. Speaking of Democrats, there's also a couple new Democrats entering the race. Imagine that.
Come on, we just got rid of a couple.
Right? And now there's more entering the race, so we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
We're also going to talk about China and their world domination.
Yeah.
Or is it really, or are they just trying to be friendly?
I will cut you.
Nope, we're getting into it. It's going to be real.
Okay.
Also, we're going to recognize a great hero, a great man.
Indeed.
His name was Ross Perot.
Yep.
Twitter. Trump and AOC just got the shaft when it comes to Twitter. They had it coming. I think we'll get into it.
I like it.
Also, the biggest headline that has been beating up all the major news networks, a citizenship question on the census.
Oh, man.
This is true. This is what is blowing up all the major news networks. A citizenship question on the freaking census.
All right, well, let's get into it. What are we starting with?
Let's start with the Democrats.
I like
that Civil war.
Yeah, so Nancy Pelosi has been the queen of the Democratic Party for, 75, 80 years now?
At least. She started her career in 1987.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, she's been around for a bit.
I was 10. Wow. That's a lot.
Her and RBG must have came in at the same time.
No, that lady was already old. So Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they don't have a very good relationship. So the latest is that AOC has been saying that Pelosi has been sticking her on all these committees, just sticking her on all these subcommittees, so she's always in meetings. And yeah, and her comment is she wonders if Nancy's doing it to keep her busy, to keep her out of the spotlight. Short answer, AOC, yes. Because, I mean, you're not the biggest intellectual on planet Earth. I mean, you're good at social media, not so good at the actual job you get paid to do. And also, if I was making 174 G's a year, I'd be willing to do some work for it.
Which is what U.S. representatives make, $174,000 a year.
Starting
pay salary. So AOC, I want you to know, Jarhead's got your back.
Nancy's making $250,000.
You just keep doing what you're doing, because Jarhead likes it. You keep making a fool of yourself. You keep telling lies because it's comedy gold. I appreciate it. You give me lots of stuff to talk about.
Seriously, you're half our show. We appreciate it. We do.
Right? And you create people like mini AOC, who I love dearly. She's a bomb. We talked about her last episode.
Yep.
She's great. Ava Martinez is her name. YouTube
Correct.
that girl. She's great.
Well, you can't anymore. She's gone.
So other people, I went out and looked. Other people have been posting her stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but it's not just AOC, right? It's the
it's
freshman
it's Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Pressley, all the new ones. They're all basically at each other's throats.
Yeah, well, I mean, those four freshmen, they've had it coming because they're the one saying all this nasty crap, right? So Pelosi, she's not really pulling her punches in this
No,
little
she's
civil
not.
war.
No, she's swinging back hard. She's trying to reestablish her position as alpha dog.
And she can and she will because she's been in there longer than them. She
There
knows how it works.
is nobody who can fundraise like that lady.
Yeah, and she's Speaker of the House. She runs the freaking House. So, yeah, I hope these four freshmen have seen their last days.
Yeah, agreed.
As a representative, I'm not saying anybody go freaking kill them off.
No. But yeah, I would love to see them unemployed and going back to being bartenders and such. That'd be awesome. What shocks me the most about this is I'm actually looking at Nancy Pelosi as the voice of reason in the Democrat Party.
What happened there?
Stop the world. I want to get off.
All right, this is not okay.
This is not the planet I grew up on.
Yeah.
Good heck.
When you're relying on Nancy Pelosi to pull people back from being too liberal or too crazy,
right?
we have
right?
lost control.
I'm
Houston, we have a problem.
Right. I used to wonder, like, what were the species of the friggin' bats in that lady's belfry? But now I'm like, she actually sounds like she's making sense.
Only making sense because those four...
It's a shift to the Overton window. She doesn't make sense. She's just makes slightly less nonsense than those four.
Than those crazy heads.
Yeah, good heck.
Okay, speaking of crazy heads, we got 2 new Democrats I want to talk about real quick.
Oh, yeah.
First is a Jarhead, actually.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Her name is Amy McGrath. She's a retired lieutenant colonel out of the United States Marine Corps. She's running for Senate in Kentucky. So she's
trying to take Mitch McConnell's job.
Okay. Now, so
Kentucky votes +9 Republican. Last time she tried, she got smushed +3.
Yeah. So for all those reasons, that she's a jarhead, that she's trying to push Mitch McConnell out of office, I love her for those reasons. You know what?
Okay, I can get with you on that.
Yep, exactly. She's a jarhead. She's a veteran of foreign wars.
No, she's not.
And somebody like Mitch McConnell, who's been in office for over 3 stinking decades, it's time for that guy to go. So I appreciate what she's doing.
I'm right there with you on that.
So I dug into her for all these things. I don't care that she has an R or a D next to her name because that doesn't matter to me. So I dug into her platforms.
Okay.
What bothers me the most about this woman is she refused to take a stance. I have watched several interviews of her.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your stance on climate change? What's your stance on the budget? What's your stance on debt? What's your stance on the border wall?
Yeah.
She has no stance. I mean, you go to like Ballotpedia or anything that tracks that stuff, and it's all middle ground because she's not saying anything. The one thing...
Fish out of water don't flip-flop as much as this lady does.
No, and that's why... she used to be an independent, and you should have kept that I next to your name. You would have had a better chance of beating Mitch McConnell in that state.
After all, look at Bernie Sanders.
Oh, don't do that. Her husband is actually a registered Republican, which is weird that you can still live in the same house. However, if I agreed with Miss McGrath on every single issue except for one, it would be the one that is the end-all be-all for me, and that is abortion.
Yeah.
You cannot be on the wrong side of murder, and she is. You're a supporter of abortion, so for the one thing she will come out and say and have a stance on is the one thing where you will...
Yeah, that's excommunicado.
Yep. You need to be done.
For our fellow jarheads in the audience, most of you will get this. The other services and the civilians might not. He says she's a jarhead. I say she's not. I grew up in a Navy household that worked with the Marine Corps pretty much exclusively, and she was a pilot, which means she was part of the Marine Air Wing, which every Marine who's not in the Air Wing will agree is not the Marine Corps. They don't know what it is. It's like this dark zone that Simba's not allowed to go to. It's just, it's kind of like, I don't know, you're not a civilian, but you're not really a Marine either.
Yeah, you don't really qualify. We just pretend they don't exist. Okay, and the other Democrat I want to talk about real quick is another Democrat running for office. So I forget, are they up to like 26, 27?
Well, we were up to 22, and then we dropped 2, and now we got 2 more. So it's a net neutral. Yeah. There's no.
This guy's name is Tom Steyer. He's yet a billionaire, so the Democrats have become the party of white billionaire old guys. So this guy is a hedge fund billionaire. He just wants the government to control everything.
Didn't you just bust a hedge fund billionaire like on Monday?
Yeah, you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
I refuse to say its name, but
yeah.
Yes.
So
no,
that
not that there's anything wrong with hedge fund billionaires, just that one in particular.
Yep. So Tom Steyer, he wants government control everything, which is not okay. Government control healthcare, education, the road systems, everything. And so again, like I said, I don't care if it's an R or a D next to your name.
Right.
I care about your stances. And that for me is a so what here. This is what I want to get across to our platoon. And it comes out of Matthew in the Bible. Imagine that. Answers coming out of the Bible. Again.
That's crazy talk.
It's in Matthew chapter 7. This is what Jesus Christ himself said. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, and neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Wherefore you shall know them by their fruits. Mm-hmm. So before you go out and vote, and if you're one of those people who vote strictly because they have an R or a D next to the name, stop freaking doing that. That's not okay.
You're not helping anybody.
You're making the situation
The
worse.
whole point of having the freedoms we have is so you can vote your conscience, not just align with one party or another. The party should conform to your views, not you have to embrace everything else just to be part of this party. That's not how this was supposed to be.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, these two people are dead to me because they support abortion, so I will not vote for them. I will either do a write-in, but there's, like Amy McGrath going against Mitch McConnell, it's just not them two, right? There's like 6 other candidates running for that Senate seat. You have plenty of options.
Yep.
So you will know them by their fruit.
Yep.
All right. Ross Perot, can we talk about something good?
We can talk about something good. So Ross Perot, Henry Ross Perot, H. Ross Perot, died this week. He was 89 years old. It's always a shame when the young ones go.
So he was old enough to be your kid, right?
Well, I mean, he was almost old enough to be. Never mind.
Did you have another inappropriate joke?
I was gonna say RBG's husband, but he's not that old. So he was a Texas billionaire. Unlike most Texas billionaires, his money does not come from oil. He was a tech magnate.
What is that?
He started tech companies.
Oh.
So
how about that?
Yeah, he started out as a salesman for IBM.
Okay.
And his big thing was his first year that he started for them, he met his sales quota for the year in January.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Ross Perot. This is why everybody loves him.
He was so legit. But he grew up in Texas delivering newspapers on a pony.
There's no way that's a real thing.
Dude, how Ross Perot is that? How Ross Perot is
love
that? So he delivered newspapers on horseback. And then just for a change of pace, because he'd never seen the ocean before, he joined the Naval Academy. He's a Navy vet.
Of course he's a veteran.
Right?
Yeah. The awesomeness just keeps coming.
Right, it really does. So he started 2 companies that he sold for billions of dollars each. When he finally died, his net worth was estimated at like 4.1 or 4.7 billion.
Jeez.
I think it was 4.1.
Wee bit of chunk of change there.
Right? So he was a Navy veteran, self-made billionaire. My real love for this man stems from 1979. He started a company called Electronic Data Systems, which was like a primitive database thing that helped other companies manage their software systems. Okay. He started this company. In 1979, 2 EDS employees were taken hostage in Iran.
During their hostage crisis.
Just before the hostage crisis.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, out of his own pocket, he hired retired U.S. Army Special Forces to go in and get these guys. He financed his own personal commando raid to rescue his employees.
Why is there not a movie about this?
Right?
That is amazing.
During the Vietnam War, the cause that he was most passionate about was prisoners of war. Mm-hmm. He flew American prisoner of war spouses to Thailand, trying to get them to see their husbands, trying to like broker a visit. Mm-hmm. Of course, North Vietnam didn't agree, but the fact that he did that brought a huge spotlight on the issue of POW treatment, and returning POWs actually said their conditions improved in their prisons after he did that.
No kidding.
Yeah. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
He founded libraries. I can't even list all the charities this guy set up. I mean, it's amazing. The guy was just an all-around amazing guy. He's probably most famously known as being the highest rated independent candidate ever for politics. In 1992, he ran against Bill Clinton and Elder George Bush, as an independent, and he got 19% of the vote.
Gosh dang. Oh my gosh. They need to put his name on the ballot now, because I'm pretty sure he would still win in his grave out of whoever the Republicans and Democrats are going to nominate.
No.
He would get my vote from the grave.
Dude, no.
He could do a better job of running the government from the grave.
Only the big cities, and usually only the ones in left-leaning states, allow dead people to vote.
I see what you did there.
Good times.
That's funny. Oh, Ross Perot, you will be missed. You will
be tremendously missed. You were a great man, and the United States was lucky to have you.
Hoorah, sir.
We are poorer without you.
Okay, next thing, real quick, let's talk about Twitter. We haven't talked about Twitter in a bit.
We haven't. What do you got?
I think this is a good move because a federal court just said that Trump can no longer block people on his Twitter account. Now, it's his own personal account, and the court can't do something like that to me and you because we're not public figures, political figures. We don't use
We're trying to be. Does that mean we get bigger when we bust out? Like we can't block people anymore?
Yeah, we'll have federal courts telling us what to do.
Oh well.
But in this stance, I mean, this is the right thing because people like Donald Trump, he does use his Twitter account to talk about policy, to talk about what he's doing.
Yeah, he does use it as a policy platform.
So when the federal judge ruled that you can't block people from looking at what you're saying, we all have a right to that, and I believe that, even though it's a personal account, it's not a government.
No, if he was posting like pictures of his kids or like family barbecues on there, that's one thing. But when it becomes a national policy platform, you're the leader of the free world, Bubba. You have no right to privacy.
Yep.
Not that you've ever wanted that.
And the same thing actually applies to AOC. So she actually just got sued. She can no longer be blocking critics because she blocks a lot of people on hers, and she no longer can do that. So the ruling out actually came out first against her and then Trump. So
you know what? Good. It shouldn't be one side or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
If what's good for one is good for both.
And I think it is necessary because Donald Trump has 61 million followers on Twitter and AOC has 5 million. So people are out there looking at what they're saying and they're paying attention. So I think that, yes, they absolutely should not be blocking people on there. However, if the people out there saying rude things and saying nasty things, then Twitter should be blocking them, is what I think. I don't think Donald Trump and AOC should have to go block people because they're constantly swearing and saying nasty things on their account. Twitter should step up and have some sort of principles or values where you block people who are constantly dropping F-bombs or posting nasty pictures on your platform.
Yeah.
Set some values, Twitter. So that's all I got to say about that.
Agreed. Cool.
Let's talk about China.
I guess we can't really avoid it much longer. So, if you've been watching our show for more than 3 episodes, you know that I really don't like or trust China at all.
What? I would have never guessed.
Really? Which is weird because you're like the co-host, and if anybody should know, it'd be you. So China this week is conducting a joint military exercise.
Okay.
With Germany. In Germany.
Good for them.
No.
Why not?
No. Because this is their attempt to forge closer ties with Europe.
What's wrong with that?
They're not doing that. This is a setup. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So, hang on. I gotta switch hats here.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, we're doing the devil's advocate hat?
Just call me Chow Mein. All right. So, what's wrong with China trying to make friends? We're friends with Germany. We do joint exercises with them. Why can't China? They're trying to make nice, be friends, make friends.
Yes. If you believe that China's intentions are noble, then yes, this is a good thing. I don't, because historically China has shown itself to not be a noble country. They have shown themselves to be thieves, and they've shown themselves to be a absolutely devastatingly repressive communist government.
Okay.
Right? The problem I have with this, and this is broadcast journalist Joe going away and Intel analyst Joe coming out for a sec. They're ostensibly trying to train up Chinese medics, right, to respond to international incidents.
In this joint exercise.
They're responding like earthquakes or something.
All right.
The problem is you're allowing a country that has openly antithetical goals to you to come into your country, observe your bases, observe your warfighting techniques. Essentially, you're giving them free reconnaissance. You're giving them free access to all your stuff. And they're getting out of it training. So you're actually making your enemy better.
So what if it is building friendships instead of making enemies? What if China is trying to turn over an old leaf, not be the people that they were historically, but they want to make friends? They are building infrastructure in a lot of different countries.
Bingo, you nailed it. So they have openly admitted, this is a PLA colonel, openly says that the PLA, the People's Liberation Army of China, will need to go abroad to protect China's overseas interests in countries along with the Belt and Road system. We talked about the Belt and Road system a few months back in an episode. It is China building commerce infrastructure, so roads, bridges, ports, all that stuff, all over the world. They're basically creating like a 21st century Silk Road, where China is just massively expanding its trade empire, protected by the Chinese military, and they are essentially creating sovereign little pockets of China all over the world.
So let's talk about that, because they are building all of this, call it your little empire, whatever you want, but they're building infrastructure. So they're creating to have other people in other countries working to build those infrastructures. Some of those people in those countries are actually working in those infrastructures, whatever it's an energy plant or a coal plant or I don't know, whatever plant. And then that country can't pay off the debt. So they forgive them the debt. Just give us this land, call this little 40 acres or whatever it is, just call it China's sovereign land, and we'll forgive you your debt. So Chow Mein over here sees China creating jobs for these other countries and forgiving them of their debt for having created those jobs. And
yes, giving up national sovereignty over their own soil to create a mini vassal state of China. I can't think of a cheaper way to do that. I cannot think of a cheaper way to do that. Build some crappy road, that brings money into China through trade to a port run, owned, and taxed by the Chinese. And then to protect their interests, they have a co-joined Chinese military base stocked with the People's Liberation Army, a communist army. This is exactly what the British East India Company did. That was their entire purpose. It was go into crappy countries, establish trade bases, hand out rotten deals that people default on, and then when the people get mad because they're losing their sovereignty, well, now the British have a port there. British interests have to be protected, so of course we have to send in troops. This is colonialism 101. This is exactly how the British did it. And the Chinese paid attention because the British did it to them in Hong Kong, and now they're doing it in reverse. They're going all over the world. And so this is nothing more than an attempt to normalize the presence of Chinese troop movements worldwide. Well, of course we need aircraft carriers. Of course we need more aircraft carriers. Of course we need anti-ship missile bases.
We're protecting our own land.
We're protecting our own land and our own ports.
I gotta change. I gotta go back. I tried.
Right. China we just reported last week. China is testing anti-ship missiles.
Yep.
They have incredibly long range. How wide is the Suez Canal, or how wide is the Gulf right there? Not very.
Yeah.
You can see the other side of it. So the Chinese have a base in Djibouti, right? I knew you'd do that.
Yes.
The Chinese have a base
in your booty, not in my booty.
No, it's Djibouti. Anyway, the Chinese have a base on the Horn of Africa that overlooks the mouth of the main trade route between the Mediterranean and Asia, the main sea trade route. You put a couple of anti-ship missiles there, and now you own the entire thing.
Yeah. So I tried. I thought it would. Yeah. I tried to be on China's side or tried to be the devil's advocate. It just doesn't work because
it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. What they're doing, China has always played the long game. They're not in it for today. They're in it for 50 years from now.
They're winning. 50
years from now, when they have divisions stationed in Africa, my bet, and we'll see, I guess, a few years from now whether I'm right or wrong, my bet is that they will make inroads into Europe, probably via Greece or Italy or Ireland or one of the third world debt-stricken countries there. And they'll start doing the same thing they're doing in Africa and around Asia to mainland Europe.
Silk Road 2.0?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, and they're doing a stand-up job of it.
Yep.
Okay, enough of you, China. Let's talk about the United States now. Because the biggest headline that is tearing up the news right now, and I still don't know why, is a stupid doggone citizenship question that the Republicans and the Democrats have found a new nonsense nothing to fight over. So the Census Bureau, it is an actual bureau, a department in the United States government. Every 10 years, every year that ends with the 0, they come out and they do the big census where they count everybody, right? And get this, we run that census the same way we did when that Census Bureau was born, back in 1787 when our government was first formed. So back then it made sense. You needed to know who was where and what the demographics of those people were. Were your elderly more located in one place? Well, then you're going to need more medical facilities there. Do you have a lot of kids being born in a certain other place? Then you're going to have to get ready and save some funds to build more schools there. Back in the days of 13 colonies, that made sense, and you needed people with papers going out there, counting, knocking on doors, sending letters out and doing that. Today, 2019, we do it the same way. People will come knock on your door, you'll get a letter in the mail asking you pretty much the same questions that they did back in 1787. Only now they're trying to argue over this citizenship question, and this question is this. Donald Trump's trying to say, put on this questionnaire, are you a citizen of the United States? I don't freaking care. I don't know why this is a thing, why they're arguing over it. We need to pull back. Look at the overarching view. You're doing the same type of questions that you did back in 1787 for the same purpose. It's 2019,
it's
people.
It's basically government apportionment. It's determining where federal funding goes.
Exactly. Now let's talk about that, because there is one thing that is absolutely necessary there, because they need to know how many people are in each state, because the House of Representatives that has 435 Congress people in there is appropriated by the percentage of populated states,
Right.
people in that state. So right now, California has 53 people. 10 years ago, it wasn't that, right? So actually, in 2010, the last time the census was done, there were a lot of changes. Like 10 states lost representatives, and 8 states gained those representatives that were lost. You tracking what I'm saying?
Yep.
So out of those 435, some people were lost, other states gained, because the population changes in states.
So yeah, the 434 representatives was fixed in 1913.
13, it was.
Yeah.
It's law. You can't
So
go anymore.
yeah, they can shift based on proportionality of the states, but it won't go above 434.
435. If you want to get technical, it's actually 440, because we give 5 extra representatives to Puerto Rico, Guam,
Oh, that's right.
and those
Yep.
guys.
Yep, you're right.
So-
You're right.
Okay, now the thing that we need to be done and over with this about, that is just killing me, is that this United States Bureau actually tells the rest of the United States government where their funds need to go, like things like elderly, roads, schools, job training centers, public health. Everything that you don't want the federal government involved in, that's what this United States Census Bureau is doing, telling them where to put funds. I don't want the federal government in my local elementary school.
Nope.
I don't want the federal government building job training centers here in Redneck, Idaho. I don't want you telling us how to conduct our public health. Get the heck out of our individual lives.
Yep.
This United States Census Bureau needs to go away. Give us laws, write down the law. We need to know how many people in your state so we can appropriate the representatives correctly, and let us govern ourselves. Because you suck at it, federal government.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that the United States federal government has gotten involved in that they haven't messed up.
Yeah. I mean, look at this freaking headline. I dug into this research because of this issue, because you're arguing over a stupid, nonsensical question. Are you a citizen? It doesn't freaking matter. Democrats and Republicans, you're both wrong. Get over it. Look into the deeper issues.
I do want to know if you're a citizen or not, but if you're a citizen in California, that doesn't affect me. All that's going to happen is if you have a higher percentage, then more of my tax dollars are going to get confiscated to go to feed your freaking greedy social programs.
Like they already are.
Right?
Alrighty. That is our show.
That is our show. It's a good show tonight.
Those were your headlines and some things that the mainstream media is still not talking about.
They won't talk about it.
All right, Platoon. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Y'all are awesome. We really do appreciate you. The best fans on the internet, and we love you. Platoon dismissed.
Semper Fi. Where you go?
Ready, set, go.
Turn the camera around. Get that on the blooper reel.
Did you just funny bone yourself? Oh, no.
Broken producer.
Medic!
You're not getting medical time off for that, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
we don't have MTO out here. You're just going to have to suck it up and take some Motrin and drive on. That's so cool. We got a blooper reel on this segment, and we haven't even started the show yet.
Wasn't even our fault.
Right? Yeah,
Why do all your jokes have to be so inappropriate?
infantry.
Oh my gosh.
Golly. I think you'd know that by now. You'd think it's a jarhead. You'd be worse than me. But who are you?
There's an attack in the bunker. Coming from above.
You know what we need, dude, is those bug assault guns that shoot like salt. Oh yeah, we're getting one. We're gonna have one in the bunker. We're gonna move back to the other set. Anyway, wow, dude, you really are bald. Like,
who's talking?
That's
What
not
you
even
talking
a
about?
4 head. That's like an 8 head. That's like, it might even be a 16 head.
That just
Wow, it just keeps going. That's amazing.
stop. Get away from me. No touchy.